This is game 2 of Zennith vs Babozo. Game 1 was posted separately because it's about 2 hours long game time. It's a little too big to post in one video for us since we're doing these over Discord. In the right here we have Babozo in purple, doing a standard 7x7 build with his house, mill, lumber camp. On the left we have Zennith playing in the green. Same build, except he's Incas, he's gonna have a llama. He deletes his town center. Builds it here. This is what you do in 7x7 so that you can have 3 farms, 2 houses. Much more efficient than not deleting your town center actually. Because if you don't delete it, it's going to be idle anyways since you don't have the food. Deleting it gives you enough food to keep it producing and have enough food to go to feudal age. Both sides connect for more farm space. I think Babozo is slightly ahead on it. He's going 10 population feudal. It works. Usually I like to do 12. 10 means you don't have many villagers at all. You're not going to have a lot of wood to sell when you do it feudal age, and you might not have space right away, as markets cost. They take up 4x4 tiles. You need to have all these cut. He needs this one still, I think, unless he's just going to do these. Zennith, 14 population, at least it looks like that so far. As you can see, he's not even clicked up. Babozo's already clicked, but it's not actually going to help him that much. His economy is not great. Building blacksmith market. He'll be selling this any moment now. There. Zennith only just now going to feudal age. And he has a lot to sell. Almost 2,000 wood. Market. We'll see if he makes a blacksmith right away or if he waits until later. Sells all of his wood. 600 gold, nothing bad. I usually like to buy food with it. He does not. He deletes his market, builds houses. Gets wheelbarrow while he doesn't have the houses. Babozo on the other hand. No wheelbarrow. Barely any food at all, going castle age. Still on 10 population. Highly not recommended. Definitely not the smoothest maneuver. He only has 3 farms. And he's gonna have another town center, but on 3 farms it's not gonna do a whole lot. Usually on turbo mode, use 3 farms to 1 town center, and you'll have a little extra food. Zennith, still feudal age. I think he is idling right now for castle age. He's getting his next farm up. 6 farms total, which is already way more than what Babozo has in castle age. Really good for Zennith. Clicking up now. As you can see, he's actually even on villagers despite not having 2 town centers. He's gonna have another farm here once he places it. And this one here was idle for a little while. It's not great. Idle farms are pretty hard to fix, they're hard to spot, and they make a pretty big difference. It's really a pain when you have to, when you realize that one of your farms has not been working the whole time, especially when you only have 4 or 5 total, like in 7x7. Zennith, 2 town centers, 6 farms, pretty good. Babozo, 2 town centers, 4 farms, not that good. He could have another one here. Once he gets his mill upgrades, he could have one here. In fact, he could even... Okay, he's making houses here. In fact, he wasn't making villagers that whole time. See now, Zennith is 8 villagers ahead. Really good for him. 5 farms, 6 farms now. He's going to be miles ahead of Babozo when it comes to build order. He also got his mill upgrade. Just now getting his first lumber upgrade. You usually want it a little earlier. You can get it in feudal or at the beginning of Castle Age. Both work. But he gets it now. Late is better than never. Farm, farm, farm. Okay. To Babozo, he's got some empty space here that he could refresh his lumber camp, build a farm here. You usually don't want to have these spaces, because what's this doing for you? All these tiles of chopped wood and still no more farms. He's only at 5 farms still. Zennith already clicked to Imperial Age. Much better for him. Clear advantage this game. Both are good players though. It's not like you can just go AFK at this point. You could go for some amount of time. But no, he is getting his market again so he can sell more wood. He was getting guilds, but he cancelled it. I think he wanted the food for the onager upgrade. This is a pretty good 8 farms, 2 town centers. Cutting himself some space. It's not great having all these holes in it because that means you can't actually use the space very well. Babozo, still not picked up. Still no food. Decent amount of gold, but what does gold do when you're still not clicked to Imperial Age because you don't have any food? That's why I prefer buying food in Feudal Age, as this gold's just gathering dust in his bank. Zennith, lots of space now. Getting his market, getting guilds. Getting another town center here. I know it looks good, but it's really good to have it against the wood line. Otherwise, if villagers are walking all this distance, getting another one here, same thing. But his farm count is increasing. Babozo actually ahead in squad because he hasn't sold as much. He's still only on 3 town centers compared to Zennith's 4, and a lot more farms. Here we have 20. Here we have 10. Zennith with double the food income. Tons of villagers queued. Houses. You could start making his production here. More town centers always works. Usually on a 3-player map, it's okay to go to a 6, 5, sometimes even 7, depending on the civ. It would be nice to have more than 2 onagers cutting. 2 is not a lot. You're gonna cut pretty slowly. Babozo, I shouldn't criticize too much because Babozo has no onagers cutting. Obviously slightly worse than 2 onagers cutting. Zennith, University Blacksmith, getting all his upgrades. You could really start pushing his production through them. Barracks, 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 barracks. Farms, farms, farms. Don't need many houses as Incas. Incas, each house counts as 10 population instead of 5. You need half the amount of houses. It's really nice. One of the best early game eco bonuses. And even in the late game too, it really helps. Obviously slightly less when the limit's only 250. He's getting his barracks, seed workshops. All his researches. Hand cards a little late. I like to get that in Castle Age. Really should have that earlier. Eagle Warrior, Halberdier. Everything coming in for him. Babozo, what is he doing? Idle town centers. Of course, it's not the end of the world. You're gonna have a few less villagers. 17 idols is not great. He does have a castle though. Persians who obviously want a castle to get those free crossbows. They're not great crossbows, but they are free, which makes them really useful. Obviously you can also get the war elephant. one of the strongest units in the game. Fully upgraded, it'll have 620 HP. It's kind of an insane unit. Nothing counters it very easily, except Kamayuks, which Incas have. Incas are actually one of the best counters to Persians, which is a good civ picked by Zennith. I don't know if he predicted it or if he just wanted Incas on this map anyways. Skirmishers is not the play. We look at him, 13,000 wood in the bank. Why is he making skirmishers? I don't know. Incas have guilds. They don't have the last wood cutting upgrade. You want to be selling all that wood. It's not doing you any good sitting in the bank. It would do you good if it wasn't 40 more champions, you know. Obviously, Halberdier Skirmisher does not beat onagers. You do not want to be a frontline soldier in Zennith's army. Or Babozos, but there's not many of those anyways. Zennith using his onagers to attack the trees. Trees not quite as dangerous as crossbows and onagers. Scorpions killing the crossbows, not the onagers. Onagers killing the scorpions and the skirmishers. Really poor unit choice by Zennith here. Of course, not the end of the world. His economy is so much stronger, it's not gonna matter. But look at this thing. Normal with no upgrades at all. Well, almost no upgrades. 470 HP still. I do believe that still is the highest HP unit in the game. Vietnamese battle elephants have about 370, I think. When these things become elite, they have 600. When you get bloodlines, 620. Zennith, fully queued, max pop. Obviously, could do to make some better units. Babozo, 120 pop. Usually, you want to stay at max pop the whole time. Whether that means making villagers or making an army of any sorts. Having more stuff counters having less stuff. He's making hussars, they're dying to helps. War elephant, doing really well. He needs more armor upgrades. Because right now it still dies to halberdiers. Zennith does not have a castle, so he does not have the Kamayuk, which is an insanely strong unique unit. It's like a halberdier and a champion. An halberdier that costs gold, but also counters other champions, and will completely destroy cavalry of any sort, especially elephants. Skirm's not doing bad. At this point, anything will do pretty well. Babozo, he had a great civ. His start was pretty poor. He's trying. He's got his staples up. He's got a siege workshop up. He's got an archery range up. Yeah, he's getting more production, but it's too late. Zennith's in the economy. Once you get in the economy, it's over. Scorpion's doing well. Lots of good shots there, but dying to the eagles. Obviously, eagles have 8 PSR max. Scorpions, not going to do a whole lot to them. I don't think scorpions do the full amount of damage on their first shot. Only if it's the unit you actually target, I believe. Hand cannons are a good option against eagles, but not against skirmishers. Obviously, skirmishers are counter to ranged units like hand cannons. Game 1. Game 2 goes to Zennith. Game 1, 2 hours long. Not casted here because we're going to cast them separately, so that neither is too long. But we are going to go to Game 3 because this one was not too long. If we take a brief look at the statistics, it's pretty obvious. Babozo made a castle, Zennith made everything else. Timeline, it's pretty telling. Babozo got a little bit ahead with the 2 town centers, but spiraled out of control pretty quickly after Imp. You see how different those were. Only his onagers getting right here, Zennith's onagers right here. Huge difference. Zennith wins. Last game, Babozo versus Zennith, Huns versus Malay, on 9x9. And now in the right, again is Babozo, not playing as purple this time, playing as blue. His villagers in the blue pants. Zennith's in the red pants on the left, with a mill and a house of fire. Babozo with 3 farms, 4 farms actually, a much better start for him. I know Zennith has not done much practice on 9x9. Not the greatest start, only just getting his farms. Babozo, much faster, all 5 farms. Zennith, still at 4. Babozo actually deleted his... oh, he's Huns. Sorry, I forgot. Huns do not need houses, but they do not get onager. Onager means you can't cut trees. You're stuck there until someone rescues you or until someone kills you. Zennith Malay means you advance to the next stage faster. You get good 200 swordsmen that don't cost gold. You have bad cavalry. Zennith and the Malay obviously having the worst cavalry in the game. You can see no bloodlines, no chain birding, no plate birding. You do not want to make either of these 2 units. They're never gonna work. Battle elephants maybe, because you have cheaper ones. But I wouldn't recommend it, because they are still expensive. A lot of food. 200 swordsmen are the much better option. They're not countered as easily by halves. And in fact, they don't have many easy counters. Arbalest obviously counters them, but they cost gold. And Zennith, obviously first to feudal as Malay. Researching double bit. Not the worst build by him, not the best. Babozo obviously a little more experienced on this. So you can see he has 7 farms. He'll have lots of wood to sell in feudal age. Huns don't need houses. They have an insane economy. It's just not needing houses is like no other civ comes close really. Incas, not really. But it doesn't necessarily make them the best civ in the game. They don't have great military. Horrible siege. Like, what is this? Mangonel and Scorpion. Siege ram is nice, but no siege engineers. They obviously miss infantry upgrades, no champion, no last armor upgrade. Wheelbarrow. They have good cavalry. Fully upgraded paladins, hussars. Malay, the worst cavalry. Obviously. You do not want to be going cavalry in this matchup. We'll see how Zennith does. 20 pot. He's gonna go to Castle Age now. 330 gold in the bank. Now 130 because of Castle Age. Probably gonna make a town center here. What is Babozo doing? Also going Castle Age. Even though he had a much later feudal, he has a similar castle time. Obviously, not needing houses means you have more farms. Town center here. He bought stone. 300 stone is nice. Zennith. 3 town centers. 3 farms. As I said previously, 3 farms go to 1 town center for production. When you have 3 town centers, you're barely even producing out of 2 of them. It's absolutely not worth it in this position. Instead of this, there should be a farm, and almost another one, and another farm here. You would have 5 farms for 2 town centers. They constantly keep production. With 3 town centers, with 3 farms, you're actually gonna have less food, even though you have more town centers. It's just, it's not good. It's pretty obvious. Babozo, 3 town centers, only 7 farms. You could have a lot more, but 7 is enough, kind of. Ideally, it's obviously 9 if you do the math and it's just 3 times 3. 3 town centers, 3 farms each. 7 farms is not a lot, not too little. Adding another town center here. With only 7 farms, it's not great. You want to have more first. Zennith now getting some more farms up. 8 farms, not bad. He's housed though. He could place one here, I think. Yeah, I believe so. He places them here. This could have been a farm. This couldn't have. So you want to place it here. Some idle time on the town centers. Not much food. Mercury going up now. Lots of wood. He will be at infinite reasonable time. Not quite enough gold. The minimum is 1500. Usually want closer to 1800 or 1900. Babozo, 5 town centers, 10 farms. Again, not great. Doing the quick math, you should have about 15 farms at least. He's getting his market though. He's gonna sell all of his wood, which he has a lot of. 15,000. Zennith, 3,000. Obviously, he already sold some. It's not going too hard with Zennith here. He's got a mangonel out. Only 1 though. He does not have the money for the Onager upgrade. Just now getting it. He was lacking the food. He could have farms here, 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 here. But unfortunately, his early game was not the greatest. Very slow in time. Hunt's player is going to have a huge advantage. Even though they don't have Onager. Zennith's Onagers were so late. It's completely doable for the Hunt's player. Babozo now an imp. He can't cut with Onagers, but he can research stuff. Blacksmith barracks. Stable. 5 town centers to Zennith's 4, and only 9 farms. Still doable for both sides here. Obviously melee. Cheap 2-handed swordsman. Completely destroyed most of what Huns can give. They'll die to paladins, but they will trade cost effectively. Obviously paladins very expensive in gold and food. Zennith needs to use this space. Town center, farms, 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 houses. Getting his second wood upgrade, not ideal. You want that in Castle Age. But he doesn't have any villager idle time. He's getting his farms up now. It's not the end of the world. Babozo, castle, stable. He's getting all of his checks. It's gonna be a pretty smooth game for him. Either he's gonna die pretty quickly or he's gonna win pretty quickly. He's getting cavalry upgrades and the attack upgrade for infantry and cavalry. Zennith not getting upgrades. He has 200 stone. He needs to buy a castle or buy town centers. Once again, late wheelbarrow and cart. Archery ranges 2 from Babozo, getting the paladin upgrade already. 4 cavalry upgrades. Much stronger economy. 195 to 109. Almost a 90 pop difference at this point is a huge amount. If you're in Zennith's position, you need to catch up with tons of town centers. You're not in any pressure, the Hunt's player cannot cut to you. So if you don't think you can win, just don't cut to him. Just build up your own economy. Once you do cut to him, you'll have the better units. You'll have bombard cannons, onagers, heavy scorpions, 2-handed swordsmen. And you can just cut a tiny choke point. The Hunt's player cannot widen it with his own onagers. And just use siege to pancake everything that comes through it. You could do to refresh these lumber camps, delete the old ones, and then build farms. 42 is not enough when we are melee, especially if you make 200 swordsmen, which it looks like he's planning to do. 8 barracks. University Blacksmith, infantry upgrades. Trade cart, not a great counter to Huns. In 1v1s in general, these are not the units you want to be making. I mean, what did I say about melee cavalry? Horses? No. And speaking of which, he's getting 3 stables. He's getting a cavalry up. He's getting light cav. Unforgivable. Yeah, he deletes the... I think that might have been a misclick. Obviously, no reason to make a trade cart in a 1v1. Unless you plan on trading with Babozo's market. I don't think it's worth it. My expert analysis is not always perfect, but it's just a hunch. Getting the melee unique tech, 200 swordsmen will no longer cost gold once that's in. Very strong if you have enough farms, because it will increase the food cost of them. I believe it's around 80 food. I don't think I can tell though. Normally they cost 60 food and 20 gold. Melee swordsman will cost 80 food. Zennith connecting now, but he doesn't really have the pop space. Delete some villagers. Get some better units out. Get your siege out. 3 onagers, not gonna cut it. Well, they'll cut the trees, but that's not really a good thing. Very wide space benefits Babozo much more. Getting paladins. 200 swordsmen will kill the halberdiers, so will cav archers. See, he's running his siege back and abandoning all these halberdiers. You do definitely do not want to be a frontline soldier in Zennith's army. But the fighting has begun. Zennith getting some good shots off the cav archers. Usually cav archers not great units in general, but you look at the melee cav. I'm gonna slow this down a bit. Plus 1 armor. 1 melee armor, 3 PS armor, 60 HP. One of the worst fully upgraded units you can find. They will not do anything to paladins. Paladins, 180 HP, 3 times as much. 18 attack. 5 armor. 7 PS armor. Light cav is not the answer. The answer is deleting more lumber camps, deleting more lumberjacks, getting more halberdiers out. There's not many skirmishers, it's not like they're gonna be a huge difference. Just go full halb, not siege onager, but normal onager will kill the paladin still. Scorpions, not as much. Zennith needs more production. He's got a lot of stuck units here. Most of it's light cav. Doesn't matter. He's queuing up more light cav. It kind of hurts, but it's not like that's the only reason Babozo's winning. Babozo obviously has played this pretty well. Tons of trebuchets. Good production. Tons of stables. You could use forward ones though. Like look at these light cav, they're not gonna get anything done here. Okay, they do get 1 trebuchet. Maybe melee light cav are the option. But what Zennith needs now is he needs more barracks everywhere. Just full halberdier. And then get a few onagers, keep them well protected. Huns don't have many ranged units of their own to counter them. Onagers will kill the trebs, kill the skirmishers, damage the paladins. Light cav will not. You have 30,000 wood. In a 1v1 especially, you need to be active with it. You need to spend it, and light cab is not the answer. Like, they died to skirmishers. And skirmishers are meant to be countered by light cav. But this is good. This is not good. 9 barracks. Could use more. He's streaming his units into all the cav entrance. Get them back, mass them up. Build more friends in the back since you're losing them on the front. Don't let your units die to the cav at this. But at this point, it's too late. Zennith's economy is dead. Obviously, it was a little unfortunate for Zennith disconnecting in game 1. It was a very long game and it ended in a disconnect, so it counted as a forfeit. Zennith could have definitely won the game. That would have meant Zennith winning the series, but in this timeline, Babozo does take it 2-1 with a decisive final game on 9x9. And that will be it for now. We'll take a quick look at the achievements. Obviously, it's not hard to see 900 units killed, 200 units killed. Way more food, more wood, more gold. Zennith could have sold a lot more wood, but not quite active enough. Still a good performance by both. Obviously, Zennith kind of stomping in game 2 and Babozo kind of taking it in game 3. A little back and forth between the two. 237 villager high. Very convincing. But yeah, it's easy to tell. Babozo went way up in army. Zennith never really did. But that is it for now in Babozo versus Zennith. Game 1 is separate. And games 2 and 3 obviously go 1-1. Leading to Babozo 2-1.